Good morning, everyone. I am Muskan Gupta and I am pursuing my engineering from ABS IT Ghaziabad in computer science, specialization in artificial intelligence. My today's topic for presentation is Web 3.0. Before starting, let's have a look on our topics. So these are the following topics which we are going to cover in our today's session. First, future of web, a recap on web 1.0 and web 2.0, introduction to web 3.0. Let's start. So, as we all know that before we were using Web 1.0, now we are using Web 2.0 and in future we will be using Web 3.0. Just for a recap, what is Web 1.0? The first generation of WWW or World Wide Web. It is one-way broadcasting. It is invented in 1989 by Tim Berners-Lee. A year later, he had developed a browser editor program and had coined the name World Wide Web as a name for the program. In 1991, the World Wide Web was released to the public. The early web allowed us to search for information and read it. This first implementation or the first generation of the web represented the Web 1.0, which according to Tim Berners-Lee could be considered the read-only web. This generation of web allowed the user to search for information and read it. There was no scope for user interaction or content contribution. Now, what is Web 2.0? The present generation, or we can say that this is the second generation of the web, is known as Web 2.0. If we stick to Tim Berners-Lee method of description, we can call this the Read Wide Web. This generation of web allows the user to contribute content and interact with other web users. Web 2.0 is the movement towards the social web with user-generated and user-derived contents. This is the generation of blogging, wiki, and tagging, etc. Now, what is Web 3.0? This is the next generation of web, or we can say that this is the matured version of Web 2.0. By extending Tim Berners-Lee description, we can call this the read, write, execute web. Web 3.0 is a term that has been coined with different meanings to describe the evolution of web uses and interaction along several separate paths. People will see the web becoming smarter with reasoning capabilities built into it. There is no considerable debate as to what Web 3.0 means and what a suitable definition might be. But here are few possibilities: the semantic web, the media-centric web, the 3D web, and the pervasive web. Now, what Web 3.0 could possibly be? First, the semantic web. When we need to browse data on the website, we use a search engine that gives the search results in the form of a list. We need to click on one of the items from the list and see what is really means and whatever it is really related to what we are looking for, because the list may contain unrelated and irrelevant data along with what we are looking for. In spite of tagging, if the names are not precisely identified, the result would not always be what we are really looking for. For instance, we need to find a lowest price for a flat screen TV larger than 40 inches with a 180 pixel resolution at stores at the nearest locality that are open till a specific time. Today, this task cannot be accomplished without our directions because the web pages are designed to be ready by people, not machines. There is where the semantic web technology comes into the picture. In the semantic web environment, we could see a semantic web agent to search for the required information, and results of the search will be precise and relevant. Semantic web is a web of data that can be processed by machines. It is a web where machines can read sight almost as easily as humans read them. The version of semantic web is to allow data to be processed automatically by tools or software agents, thus letting them share and integrate information more easily, making the web a universal medium for information exchange. The technology of the semantic web can be said to be the technology of precise vocabularies. Semantic web doesn't contain artificial intelligence. It relies on structured sets of information and certain inference rules that helps it to understand the relationship between different data resources. So it is only means that the computer doesn't understand the relations the way we human understand, but it has enough information to make logical connections and decisions. This is made possible by the use of certain semantic technologies like URI, RDF, RDFS, OWL, where URI refers to Universal Resource Identifier, which is a global naming scheme for the data or resource. RDF stands for the Resource Description Framework, which is a standard syntax for describing the data that has name using the URI. RDFS stands for the Resource Description Framework Scheme, which creates the properties for the resources. OWL stands for Web Ontology Language, which describes the types of relation between data items. Now, the media-centric web. Uh, Today, when we search for images, videos, or songs, for a given image search, the search engine turns up to countless images, which includes many unrelated images, even as it misses out on many that may have been a perfect match. The situation is much the same for the sound files. There is where the media-centric web comes into the picture. Media-centric web is where you find a media using a media, not just keywords. I supply an image. For example, I supply an image for my favorite celebrity, and the search engine turns up 100 similar images. A few services have already taken the first step in this direction. There are new photo sharing visual search engines that can be used to find faces and objects from a vast number of images on the web. The results can also be refined using colors, shapes, and textures. The system can also be trained to recognize faces and automatically tag the pictures. Such surveys have key features like search images by image instead of text, find items with specific features that you may like, find color variants of the item you like, ability to upload your images of an item and find similar items, ability to search for more photos or for the same person across the internet, automatically shot online images by people appearing in them, find people matching specific looks on social networking. Now, the 3D web. As we all know, 3D stands for the three dimensional, okay? So the 3D web. 3D similarly here, the 3D refers to the three-dimensional design that refers to look of an object from three different plans. 3D technology is slowly catching up on the web. Microsoft is coming up with the technology which take a collection of images, analyze them for similarities and displays them in a reconstructed 3D space. This system will allow users to walk or fly through a scene to view photos from any angle. This system builds a 3D model from a raw collection of photos. The first users of this system could be the photo sharing websites. The other use would be for property and tourism, where a virtual tour could be provided for the potential visitors. Microsoft says that the technology will certainly be web based. Now, the pervasive web. Pervasive web is a vision which refers to the uses of the web wherever, not just on PCs. It could be on the cell phone or jewelry. A web that is spread throughout the home and office. For instance, a web based window that checks the weather and opens it or closes it based on the weather. This may not happen in the near future, but it is one of the visions. Now, let's conclude our session. Web 3.0 is all about creating a richer, more meaningful language for computers to use in communicating with other computers over the net. It's all about getting the machines to do a lot of the interpretive functions that are currently being done by people. Web 3.0 is the next generation of web, which would probably take automation to a whole new level. Maybe that is what Web 3.0 going to be. Thank you.